Good morning, this is Jennifer with Barrera. Today on Tender Seats Therapy Stories, Video Cine, I'll be discussing the cinema. So rather you heard you want to be an actor, rather you heard than the name of a casting director or American studio owner, or whatever story you've heard. This is one of the stories. The matter that comes at stake is that many people want to become somebody or want to do something, and some of us are in the midst of being part of those groups, meaning that we are part of that cinema. Those names, those people that you see, those people that you think are big, or some people that you like, some people that you dislike, the audience. Here is what matters. Whenever there are systems and people put something to your name as an owner, for example, myself, where I'm the owner, this is what matters for people to know. A woman wants to come, and this is the logic. She wants to get inside of the way and say, you know what, I'll get everything. Because I can easily sleep. So let's say we're making a fictional story. I can go with the guy, make a story, and make pretend of all of this, right? That would be the logic of many women. Some are polices, some even are people put to those studio owners. Whatever logic they're using it properly to use the tools so they can make money, or they can make artists or their own entertainment. For myself, whenever we situated fictional, and it started many, many years ago, I did state fictional. So it was production, and people have to have their own lives. So in my life, I had to get married, I had to have children. I blame society in Canada, in Quebec, among the French Canadian specific, not everyone, specific French Canadian with rather social resentment, rather economic resentment, rather psychiatric resentment, rather skin resentment. Not only the Caucasian fact, but the fact that they felt they were, they were treated bad because they were not pretty. So then they have to be better. And then they check it upon me. So they check it on the Hispanic origin, and then they check it on all Spain, and then on all Hispanic. And then some people check it on Asian. But then Asian, we see people that were trained as Caucasian there. So then some people get in and out of those, of those circle of people. I haven't, because that's not what I do. That wasn't my path at all. So in cinema, basically what I had to say is, Warner Brothers had to do a production, but if he's busy with his new wife, right, the priority is being with somebody. Canada was always in the way. When many years ago, when a studio had to come along and pick their celebrity, and there is a big motion picture, they use Canada, and then they get her and we see them as celebrity. Canada failed in many ways because they wanted somebody just sitting and doing nothing. Or they wanted, she did the role of the whore, or the girl who's kind of like the pussycat. So guys were like, let the prostitute be without love, right? You have that almost like that pragmatic thought that people have to let you be like a dummy in society. So I think out of courtesy, we're addressing that and making it, because we have truth in this, right? We want to address specific that are reliable and people can kind of see how people see and their own perspectives. So we have little cities adjointed. You have El Pejo, you have West Island. So they help me be much an owner, right? The Gloria. We pay her, Maxie, right? We pay her because we know deep down it was done by Jennifer. But then once we're tired, we'll take another name. That's a conflict they created. My money was my money, and my money is my money. Right? So we see flaws in economy where you took money and took it and gave it to somebody, and it's not their name. So they have to go to court. They have to prove they can do much, and then they check everything and they can leave a country. Right? Some people do that. That's not what I wanted. I always address things very clean, and then eventually I would stop my work because I would do something else. Even if I'm in the cinema, in the background, I don't have to be explaining everything. But people have to understand this. Understand marriage also. For me, it was never easy as a young girl who People want to get inside of the way and say, why her, right? Well, first, you're not an actor like I was. You weren't an actress like I was. Some are. Some are very gifted, so that's why they're celebrities. Some were never selected to be wives. Some I was selected and then the disparity existed and we didn't like each other, right? We couldn't understand each other because there was system among what we were doing. I wanted to be free, I wanted to have a business, and they wanted the same. And many of them can be free, trust me. It's always easier for specific men than for myself. I had people, all my family, what they did was done barricades. That's all they could do barricades, and then they put polices. The police has restriction in my house. My parents were permitted, and then they had to be removed with every civil laws, martial laws, and psychiatric laws. So that had to be addressed also. So wishing people understand that for myself, I believe the people can hear out there. The story is, she meets love, they get married, and they have a child. You know, a beautiful story, fiction, and then it's true. Many people live that. So bothering a person and making me feel unsteady wasn't wise. If an American studio owner, or Universal, or Marvel, or whomever, something didn't go their way in their lives, and then they reflect on me, or they reflect on specific, see the flaw, see your mistakes, see where you flawed. If I went to Miami and you thought this is all we can take, then don't, right? Because El Salvador did fail. I took my distance and decided to leave for 10 years and bring a system of Gloria, put it into Jennifer, and just one system remains in that land. It doesn't come here because people don't respect laws. It's very, very easy. We make money. I'm supposed to make money, and it is my money. Nobody comes here with a restaurant or UC and they take one thing or two. That's not even logical. Whomever did, well, you know, they all know they have repercussions, right? In cinema, that's my system. So all the big names, remember, right? It's not such a big thing. It's Jennifer Barrera, Tender Seed. And if you don't want the Tender Seed, you can put Jennifer Barrera. And then there's another last name, right? So wishing people can see that for me, I was never content with what some men did. It's almost like a woman has to ask, and all actresses requested their rights to have sexuality. Some escape and left with men. So I don't understand why I had to go through that. So when I had to go through that, I did put it almost like vulgar, and then in storylines. But now I'm addressing it, I believe, very properly in a cinematic function and also in a psychiatric function, that you shouldn't bother. And asking my own sexual life is bothersome. Because some girls want to say that they're such marvelous, and then how can you be even marvelous? You didn't even get attention 20 years from now. 10 years from now, you won't get this attention. But I won't be overwhelming myself, right? I won't be doing split and using my tongue to attract all men. And trust me, many girls do that, and that's their work, and it's fine. You know, sometimes you need a scene that way. Sometimes you can just and I can be my own personality. So instead of doing splits, I can, just dance a little. So don't take it wrong, but see every perspective. I remember 10 years ago, or just 5 years ago, or 2 years ago, I got insulted by some girls. Some were jealous of every cinematic input that some people wanted to put on me. Every story, everything done to myself. Some girls just were out of this. They weren't even related. So kindly now acknowledge I'm sending back like a few arrows. Take it nicely, but it's true. See your own reality. You can criticize me, but know your own truth. Specifically, Québécois and French from France. You're not Hollywood, right? You're not many countries in my business. So I don't understand what's your obsession. When a girl wanted to say something and diminish, don't try that. Don't even try to go to stores and do things. It looks dumb. Everybody knows. Many people do know. So out of courtesy, I always play with those stories from, being a teenager to a young adult to being a young mother. I always put myself, but now I have to put as my real self. It's very grounded. I can't just go around being unmannered. But I can't go around also pretending it's all right. Right? And I'm not going against the French, all of them, the community. That would be completely illogical. Why would I be attacking somebody? It's almost like you're obsessed with something. No. Right? That's not right. Also, anybody who created a sheet, something happens to you, it's all fake. We wish you that. No. The English with the French or whomever else. The Asians. It's so easy to put an Asian and say, you know what, just go with them. If it's not meant for me, then it's not meant for me. Perhaps a friend. Or perhaps I'll have to trust myself. Maybe there's an element, there's a resource out there that people have to understand instead of just bulging and making stories that some do make sense and some really add up. They're not really much what I make in my own creation. And they created conflicts maybe with some other studios. So wishing people can see that this cinema has that sense of truth. It has with me. And some people have hated things. And trust me, I had to hate a few things. And then not very much. If you see all parallels and all perspective. So right, being the whore being left. So she was left like a freaking whore. Oh, she couldn't sleep with a guy. Oh, or look, West Island. Oh, she thought she was so cool. Damn, and it didn't happen. So all those perspective and stories, right? We can take it from early teenager to almost like young adulthood. But whatever story it is, my truth remains my truth. That I want to be a rejected person. Well, no, obviously not. In my stories, that wasn't proper to myself. It's not about being cool also. It's not limited to that. It's about being a person who functions in society, can actually address others, and can actually live among others. Marriage, some people might want to do surprises. Do remember that specific boundaries make it always nicer in communication among people, in relationship, and also in living. People propel themselves that way. So if you think you've had it hard, trust me. Some of us had it harsh. Some of my family, I did say some names, get on your knees. Do get on your knees. God is still God, and then there's specific reasons also. Some people don't like it. What can I say? I think some people need to have better logic. And then there's a comedy of getting on some people to get them on their knees. But I think I'll leave the Virgin Mary, the good sense of faith and the good sense of that soul, to take care of a few things. If you go to church and the church tells you, you can travel, make money, that's good. But if they don't tell you to, live your life and make it, or if they don't tell you good insight, then, they're not doing the right thing. And I think many people do the right thing. They do give and provide good advices. I must wish for that. So I don't want to bring in the church because that's not the purpose. But some people, they just take it and they just go by that standard. That's the only thing that they go in. They follow that specific rule. So I won't be screaming my rights for sexuality, but kind of acknowledge, this doesn't make sense. That a woman has to portray it and almost make it like it's not logical. It withstands nothing. There's no cinematic function. There's no love that truly is the way it's supposed to be. For royalty, people here didn't like many people. So if ever there's international business that they're incur, well, sometimes those limits do happen among people because people don't want to commit themselves to that. And people have to be accepting of Canadian laws and then of other people. So people have to be very accepting. So that's not very cinematic, but some people do make it into the cinema, right? So if people are using all of this, and I'm not being an analysis here, I'm being the host in my own business trying to make people understand that I'm a person. And I had to kind of go through all those waves of water. Like, he, send her that way. And sometimes I'm like, no, that's not my direction. Then some people, did wrong things. So then I take it nicely because there is no other way. Because I always think I can bring people down also. I believe God gave me that strength willingly and in a good way, right? There's laws and regulation. So wishing people can understand that, wishing people can acknowledge, if this an American studio, I did say a name, I didn't lie, right? I'm not illogical. I'm not just twisting things. If lies were made, trust me, some were made by people. That's why I'm here trying to showcase many things. Because for me, it matters that my life was a life. And then obviously we had to see a few difficulties or challenges given the matter of some people. So wishing people can acknowledge that whatever you compromise to, whatever you do, it is important if you make it, and if you make it your own. If you make it your own way, and it's not only creativity, right? There's all sorts of business in this. So wishing people can do something that they love, wishing people can acknowledge this, and wishing you have a beautiful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.